Does your Wordle playing run afoul of the five common blind spots, those gotchas that sometimes hinder your game so that you take an extra round or two to win, or even worse yet, you don't get that right solution in 6 rounds? Hey guys, I'm Mary Schaefer from AP Now with another talk to help you hone your Wordle skills. I wanted to call this session the Wordle Abyss, but I didn't think that was a title that everyone will understand. But I'm sure you will by the time we finish this. So I want you to keep in mind the word abyss as I go through what I call the Wordle blind spots, those simple issues that you sometimes miss when you're trying to solve your Wordle puzzle. Okay, so let's get started. Remember, for most of them, the example is going to be abyss, A-B-Y-S-S. Well, you know that. Okay, so let's start off with the first Wordle blind spot, as I call it, leading vowels. Usually when I get my, 3 or 4 letters and I start trying to work out what the solution is, what the final word is, I always start with a consonant or sometimes 2 consonants followed by vowels. And sometimes I'll get stuck and I'll be, almost, hitting my head going, why can't you figure it out? And what I forgot to do is that sometimes the solution does start with a vowel. So the answer might be something like above or maybe abyss. Okay, so that's leading vowels. Let's go on to the next Wordle blind spot, which I call the double letters. When you're trying to figure out your Wordle solution, we sometimes forget that the correct letter can be in there more than once. It can be in there twice. Of course, Wordle isn't going to tell us that. It only tells us when we get it in the right spot. So until we put it in that second time, we don't know. So again, when you're working it out, after you've worked through some of your other solutions, don't forget that blind spot, that one of those letters may be in there twice and you may already have your solution. Okay, so the next blind spot that I want to talk about is plurals. We've all kind of come to the understanding that none of the Wordle correct solutions are going to be words that are plurals. I don't know if that's true, but we seem to all believe it, and we haven't had any plurals. So for now, we're going with that. But that, by the way, does not mean that the correct answer doesn't end in S. We have words good words that are possible Wordle solutions like glass, gross, and of course, abyss. Okay, the next Wordle blind spot that we sometimes forget about or we don't see is what I call the quasi vowel Y. Sometimes there'll be no vowels, not often, but sometimes no A, E, I, O, U, but in their place there'll be a Y. Or there will be a vowel, but the Y will act as, if you will, another vowel. Recently, in Quordle, not Wordle, one of the solutions was slyly, S-L-Y-L-Y. And that was a really tough one, and I'm going to have to admit I didn't get it. And then in Wordle, which I did get, I'm going to say we recently had nymph. And I'm going to, by the way, make a separate video on the nymph solution, if you will, because I think it contains several interesting um, facets. So, okay, the quasi-vowel. We don't want to forget about the quasi-vowel. Okay, now I want to, before I get to that last blind spot, which is a real doozy, I might add, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. It's free. You can unsubscribe at any time. And by the way, you don't need a YouTube account to subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe with a Gmail account. When do we post? Well, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we post about accounts payable and payment issues. But on Saturday, we post about we post about Wordle stuff. And we've got some real interesting topics planned to help you with your Wordle strategy, if you will, for the next few weeks, okay, and onward. But I have good news for Wordle fans. If you subscribe, you'll also find that our Wordle puzzles, which we've been posting once a week, sometime between Wednesdays and Fridays, will show up on your homepage when you log in. And we encourage you to take them and participate. It's just for fun, nothing serious. And if you don't see them there, you can look on the community tab on the AP Now YouTube channel page. So go to the AP Now YouTube channel page, hit on the community tab, and you can see the polls and participate there. So join the Wordle fun. And to our last Wordle blind spot, if you will, I call it the double double. And this is when letters appear twice, but more than one, two letters. So some of you may recall, and I did not get this right, I must confess, that one of the recent solutions was vivid, V-I-V-I-D. And that's was with the double letters, and the V is not a common letter, adding insult to injury, that were in there twice. So by remembering these blind spots and avoiding common mistakes, you'll be able to wordle your way to Wordle success. Don't forget to check back next week for our NIMP video, when I want to share how I reasoned it out within 4 rounds, and you could have done the same thing. And as for avoiding those common Wordle mistakes, we've got a video on it. We'll link to it in the show notes below. On YouTube, a link will appear to the left momentarily. And as always, we appreciate your thumbs up, your shares, your comments, and your subscribes. Happy Wordling success.